we'll introduce a piece of Spanish cob currency from the 18th century, emphasizing that it bears witness to the catastrophic sinking of the 1715 plate fleet. The focus will be on how this event fundamentally shaped modern Florida, fueled global piracy, and birthed the enduring American treasure hunting industry. The empire's golden artery. The Silver Mountain and the Sunken Road. The economic backbone of the Spanish Empire. Detailed description of the Cerro Rico of Potosí in Bolivia, the mountain of silver. The arduous supply chain of transporting the silver. The Camino Real that became the pieces of 8 currency used in the early American colonies. The galleon and the gilded cargo. The significance of the Tierra Firme and New Spain fleets. Detailed inventory of the vast cargo, 14 million pesos of registered treasure, plus an estimated equal amount of smuggled, unregistered riches. How this wealth controlled the power dynamics of Europe. The fateful rendezvous. The governor's greed and the Cuban delay. The fatal delay orchestrated by Don Vicente de Raja, the governor of Havana, and wealthy merchants due to personal greed. The fleet was held back from early June until the end of July, the peak of hurricane season. The ignored warnings from the veteran pilots and General Obilla's despair. The night the sky fell. A minute-by-minute visceral narrative of the Category 4 hurricane striking the fleet on July 30-31, 1715, off the Florida coast, Cape Canaveral to Fort Pierce. The sound of the wind, the shattering of the hulls against the Sebastian rocks, and the tragic loss of approximately 1,000 lives and 11 ships. The Golden Rush and the American Shadow. The immediate, desperate Spanish salvage operation using indigenous divers. The recovery of about 50% of the registered treasure in the first 2 years. Crucially, the entry of the British privateer Henry Jennings, who led a daring, brutal raid on the Spanish salvage camp, stealing a fortune in recovered gold and silver. The Florida frontier is born. The historical consequence. Jennings' act of piracy directly ignited the golden age of piracy in the Caribbean, setting the stage for figures like Blackbeard. The Spanish established a semi-permanent salvage base on the Florida coast, modern-day Fort Pierce, Vero Beach, laying the groundwork for future American settlements. Part 4. The Modern Hunt. The Treasure Wars. Mel Fisher, the man who would not quit. The 20th century American saga. The introduction of Mel Fisher, the colorful, relentless treasure hunter, and his decades-long pursuit of the 1622 Atocha wreck. The personal sacrifice, the loss of his son, and the eventual massive $450 million discovery in 1985. The Law of the Sea. The sovereignty fight. Focus, the legal battles that followed. Fisher's landmark fight against the state of Florida and the U.S. federal government over ownership. The clash between the law of fines and the Spanish sovereign claim. The 1982 Supreme Court ruling in Fisher's favor, which fundamentally established the precedent for the modern private treasure industry in America. Conclusion. The lure of the deep. Focus, the story's final reflection and historical importance. The estimation that $10 billion in Spanish treasure, including millions from the 1715 fleet, still lies undiscovered. The final message, the gold and silver were not merely currency, but the fuel for the first global economy, built on the labor of the New World and recovered by the determination of modern American divers. The coins serve as a tangible link to a 400-year-old moment of catastrophe and destiny that shaped the Americas.